He said he was traveling for work. That was how it always began. Those four casual words that sounded professional enough to silence suspicion. Traveling for work. As if airports and hotel rooms were sacred places where love couldn't be betrayed. His name was Ethan Vale, and for 3 years I believed every itinerary, every promise, every carefully timed call. We met when life felt like a beginning. I was 27, starting a new job in marketing for a startup in Seattle. Ethan was a software engineer, confident, witty, a little too composed. He had that calm sort of charm that makes you lean in, like every word is a secret. We built our relationship on video calls and weekend visits because his company had projects all over. He'd send me photos from airports, from hotel balconies overlooking cities I'd never been to, Portland, Denver, Austin. At first, I thought it was exciting. It made us feel like the kind of couple who could survive anything, distance, time zones, missed birthdays. But somewhere along the way, excitement began to curdle into doubt. It started with silence, the kind that lingers a little too long after I miss you, the kind that feels like static instead of space. He became harder to reach. Calls went to voicemail, texts got shorter, colder. When he finally did answer, he always sounded distracted. "Sorry, babe, crazy day. You know how clients can be. I'm wiped. Can we talk tomorrow? I'll be home soon, I promise." And I believed him, because love, especially long-distance love, is built on the illusion of trust. Until one night, that illusion cracked. It was a Friday. He'd said he was in San Diego for a week-long product demo. He sent me a picture of the view from his hotel window, a skyline melting into ocean sunset. The photo looked perfect, but something about it caught my attention. In the glass behind his reflection, barely visible, was a woman's silhouette. Not a blur, not a coincidence. A figure, curved hair falling over one shoulder, head tilted toward him. I stared at the image until my eyes blurred. My heartbeat felt too loud in the quiet apartment. I zoomed in. My pulse froze. There it was, a glint of silver on her wrist. Maybe a bracelet, maybe a watch, but definitely not mine. The message I'd been composing in my head for months, half anger, half heartbreak, disappeared. Instead, I saved the image. Then, I posted it. No angry captions, no accusations, just the photo and 6 simple words. Funny how reflections reveal truth. The post went viral overnight. People noticed what I did. The woman's reflection, the faint outline of her smile. Comments poured in like wildfire. "Oh, he's done. The reflection tells the whole story. Girl, I hope you're okay." Even mutual friends reached out privately, some apologizing, others confirming what I'd feared, that Ethan's business trips had always been more personal than professional. By morning, he'd called me 12 times. When I finally answered, my voice felt detached, like it belonged to someone else. "Arya," he began, his voice cracked with panic. "That post, what the hell are you doing?" "Just telling the truth," I said quietly. "It's not what it looks like. She's a coworker." I almost laughed. "Then why was she in your hotel room?" He hesitated, and that silence was louder than any lie. "Arya, please, let me explain. You're overreacting." That word, the one men use when they're cornered and the truth starts to smell like fear. "I'm not overreacting," I said. "I'm done reacting." And I hung up. He stopped calling after that, but the story didn't. Our mutuals unfollowed him. My inbox filled with messages from women, some kind, some confessing they'd been through the same. I didn't want to be a symbol of betrayal, but somehow I became one. And somewhere between the chaos of comments and messages, I found something unexpected, a sense of calm. Because for once, I didn't need proof to convince myself. I had seen it with my own eyes. Still, closure doesn't come that easily. It took weeks before I stopped checking my phone, before I stopped expecting another apology that would never feel sincere. Then, one morning, a letter arrived. No return address, just my name in his handwriting. Inside, a single sheet of paper. Arya, you didn't have to humiliate me like that. You ruined everything. But I guess you got your revenge. I hope you're proud of yourself. I folded it neatly and set it aside. There was no apology, only blame, the final act of a coward. But I didn't throw it away, because that letter wasn't for him. It was for me. Proof that he still didn't understand that what I'd done wasn't revenge. It was reclamation. I hadn't humiliated him. He'd done that himself. I'd just turned on the light. Months passed. I stopped checking his profiles, stopped wondering where he was. The ache turned into something sharper. Focus, maybe freedom. I moved to a new apartment closer to work. Started running in the mornings, making coffee for one. The quiet didn't scare me anymore. It steadied me. Then, one afternoon, while scrolling through my feed, I saw a new post tagged in a local news article. Ethan Vale, tech startup founder, faces lawsuit for fraudulent investments. Apparently, he'd used company funds to cover personal expenses, lavish trips, hotel stays, gifts. It was all unraveling now, publicly, irreversibly. The photos attached to the article made my stomach twist. They were from the same cities he'd traveled for work, and in one of them, barely visible, was the same woman, the same reflection. I stared for a long time, realizing that truth has a way of echoing. It finds its own audience eventually. 6 months later, I was invited to speak at a digital marketing panel about authentic storytelling in social media. I almost declined, but something in me wanted to go. When the moderator asked, "How can truth create impact online?" I thought about that night, the moment I hit post. Truth isn't loud, I said. It's quiet until it isn't. It waits for the right moment, and when it's revealed, it doesn't ask for forgiveness. It demands recognition. The audience nodded, but I wasn't talking to them. I was talking to the version of me who'd waited by her phone, making excuses for the man she loved. The version who thought love meant believing everything you were told. Now I knew better. A year later, I was packing to move again, this time for a job offer in New York. As I boxed up my things, I found the old photo Ethan had sent me, the one with the reflection. I almost deleted it, but something stopped me. Instead, I printed it, framed it, not as a reminder of betrayal, but as proof of intuition. Because that image didn't just capture him, it captured me. The moment I stopped being a victim and started being someone who saw clearly. I placed the frame on my desk beside a small note I'd written to myself. See what's reflected, not what's shown. The day I left Seattle, the air was cold and clean. As the city disappeared behind me, I thought about how endings never arrive in a single moment. They creep in through reflections, silences, truths you almost ignore. Ethan had once said, "Distance makes love stronger." But I'd learned something different. Distance doesn't make love stronger. It makes truth impossible to hide. And sometimes that's the only kind of strength worth finding.
You've just stepped into her revenge side, where every wound finds its justice, and every silence ends with truth. If her story struck a chord, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps these stories alive. Another secret waits in the next video. See how her revenge begins.